News, this is Montana This Morning.
At least 3 dead and parts of Florida's Gulf Coast underwater. I'm Nicole Valdez in Tampa, Florida, breaking down the impacts from Hurricane Helene.
I'm Jonathan Ambarian at the state capitol. While Montana's U.S. Senate race has gotten much of the attention this year, campaign fundraising is also heating up in the races for governor and other state-level positions. I'll have a closer look at the latest reports.
Good morning, Southwest Montana. 6 o'clock on this last Friday of September.
Yes, it is.
It's nice out. It's really warm out for the last Friday of September, dare I say.
It's toasty, that's for sure. Matt and I coined the term funner, or
Yes.
fummer,
I
fall
like that.
and summer.
I will say my
to call it
tan, though,
something.
is still
Oh,
my
same.
summer tan.
Yeah, me too. It's great.
My tan is still lingering, so I can't complain too much.
Well, I mean, I guess we got to count the positives where they are,
Exactly.
right? We got to keep them coming.
We're
All
going
right.
to be tan in November still.
We got to do it, absolutely. Get some of the oil on and let's get baking. All right, time to take a look at some of your futurecast. As you can see, well, we got a clear shot of sunshine all throughout the day. Only really some whispers of some clouds moving in from the north, but as far as the difference maker, it's really not going to be that much. It's really going to be that sunshine is what you're going to notice. Taking a look at our forecast hour by hour, we're working up towards about 4 or 5 o'clock or so. That's when we're going to see the warmest part of our day. It says 79 here. I've seen other reports that say it could also get up to 82 degrees in the Bozeman area. So just bear that in mind if you're maybe heading out to a Friday night light football game. Over near the Butte area, maybe a shot of some clouds, but again, really just going to be a chance because that sunshine is going to be the dominant factor as those temperatures are roaring into the 70s. We're going to have more of your forecast coming up in just a little bit.
Alrighty, thank you, Jane. Our top story this morning, a fire broke out in Big Sky last night. A viewer sent us this video of the fire at the one and only luxury resort that's currently under construction at Moonlight Basin. Now, according to Big Sky Fire Chief Dustin Taterow, the fire broke out in one of the 3 buildings that make up the resort. Fire crews arrived on scene at just after 6:30 in the evening. The fire chief says that the fire was contained to one of the 3 units on the 3rd floor on the west side of the building. The fire was under control in about an hour. The resort has not yet opened and is still currently under construction. Luckily, no injuries were reported. The resort was scheduled to open sometime in 2025. And as you might remember, on Wednesday, we told you about the 10-hour standoff that happened at a house off of 9th and Lammy in Bozeman. On Thursday morning, the man who was arrested faced a judge. Now, according to court documents, 32-year-old Seth Ryan Gomez got into a heated argument with neighbors about parking. Gomez claiming that the neighbors were blocking the driveway. The neighbors and Gomez were reportedly yelling at each other. That's when Gomez got into his car and got an AR-style rifle. The neighbors then called for help. Gomez hid inside this house for hours as police cars lined up on local streets. Now, local SWAT and a SWAT unit from Helene were on the scene. According to court documents, tear gas was used to end the standoff. Gomez was arrested and then charged with 4 counts of assault with a weapon. In court on Thursday morning, the judge set his bail at $30,000, and his next court appearance is scheduled for October 11th. And a young bicyclist is currently hospitalized in Butte after being struck by a vehicle on Thursday afternoon near the Butte Civic Center. Witnesses told MTN that the young boy, who appeared to be a teenager, was hit while riding his bike at the intersection of Harrison Avenue and Civic Center Road just before 3:30 in the afternoon. The driver did remain on scene and was questioned by police.
I've got 8 kids of my own, so my worst fear is that they're riding their bikes up and down here all the time, and I might have to second guess that. I really hope the kid's okay and that his parents are okay.
That the victim is being evaluated at St. James Healthcare and the incident does remain under investigation. In national headlines, Hurricane Helene made landfall last night in the northwestern part of Florida as a Category 4 hurricane. Now, forecasters are warning of unsurvivable storm surge and dangerous winds that span hundreds of miles. So far, at least 3 people have been killed as a result of this storm. CBS's correspondent Nicole Valdez is in Tampa with the latest.
The wind howling in Tampa and the roads heavily flooded in Naples and Lee County. Hours before Helene made landfall in the Big Bend area of Florida's Gulf Coast, Governor Ron DeSantis said one person was killed when a sign fell on their car on a Tampa highway.
It's very dangerous conditions out there. You need to be right now just hunkering down. Now's not the time to be going out.
These college students from St. Petersburg were among the many who evacuated to escape Helene's wrath. They drove 3.5 hours to Fort Pierce.
It's still stormy, but I can't imagine what it's like closer to the storm, so I feel a lot safer being away from it.
Some who live in Tallahassee made the decision to move to a shelter.
Well, it's kind of scary. I just stay prayed up. I just hope everybody get through it together.
Forecasters warned of extreme winds across the region and a nightmare storm surge of up to 20 feet. Millions are expected to lose electricity. Power lines fell as far east as Port St. Lucie.
It was scary. I'm not gonna lie to you, especially when I walked out and I seen that. And I seen the cables right over me. I was like, yeah, that's not good.
The storm so immense it already toppled trees in Atlanta, and heavy rains opened this sinkhole north of the city. This is what Helene looked like from space as it bared down on the southeast. Nicole Valdez, CBS News, Tampa.
Now there are declared emergencies in Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Virginia, and into the Carolinas. In other national headlines, President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris sat down with Ukraine's president as he presents his, quote, victory plan to end the war with Russia. Scripps News political correspondent Stephanie Liebergen takes a closer look at how much aid the U.S. has sent to Ukraine and what the country needs to win the war.
I want peace for my people, real peace, and just peace.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky's message to the United Nations was clear. He wants Russia out of his country, and he wants them held accountable for their war crimes. But he needs more help from international allies like the U.S. Wednesday, the Biden administration announced another $375 million in security assistance is going to Ukraine. That brings the total assistance since the war began to over $56 billion. But after 2.5 years, some Republicans are opposed to spending more on a war with no apparent end in sight.
Ukrainians view themselves as America's partner in taking out America's longtime adversary of Russia. We supply the weapons, they supply the lives of their very best people. And when our contribution slows down, their contribution goes up. It's as simple as that.
Stephen Moore is the founder of the Ukraine Freedom Project, and he's been living in Kyiv since the early days of the war. He believes lawmakers who oppose sending more aid are downplaying the potential consequences if Russia wins.
Ukraine is not Afghanistan. Ukraine is a country that wants to win. They're good partners. And, we can leave Afghanistan and the world doesn't disintegrate. But if we leave Ukraine, then Putin could roll through Ukraine, and then he would be on the border with 9 NATO countries.
Alexander Kamishin, a strategic advisor to Zelensky, told Scripps News the country's biggest need is money.
The main point we are asking from our partner nations is the funding for procurement from Ukrainian producers. That's the fastest, that's the most efficient way how you can help us.
Zelensky's victory plan, which includes military, political, diplomatic, and economic elements, will require fast action and support from Western allies, something Kyiv believes is crucial for any chance of success. Stephanie Liebergen, Scripps News, Washington.
Well, back a little closer to home, while they haven't seen the multi-million-dollar spending of Montana's U.S. Senate race, the elections for governor and other statewide offices have also seen higher fundraising numbers as November starts to approach. Our MTN senior political reporter Jonathan Ambarian has a closer look at the latest campaign finance reports.
Last week was the deadline for candidates for state offices to submit their campaign fundraising reports for the last month, giving us one final look at the financial picture in those races before mail ballots start going out on October 11th. The most expensive state campaign has been the race for governor. Democratic challenger Ryan Busse raised more than Republican incumbent Greg Gianforte over the period, just under $273,000 to almost $227,000. But Gianforte's campaign still has nearly $939,000 in cash on hand going into the last month and a half of the campaign, compared to Busse's more than $375,000. Both campaigns have spent around $2 million since the start of the race, but the spending is significantly lower than in 2020, when Montana had one of the only open governor's seats in the nation. In the races for the 4 other state executive offices, Republicans Austin Knudsen, Christy Jacobson, and James Brown outraised their Democratic opponents, Ben Alke, Jesse Mullen, and John Repke, over the last month. But Democrat Shannon O'Brien raised more than Republican Susie Hedlund in the campaign for Superintendent of Public Instruction. Outside of the governor's race, the most money raised during the last period was in the 2 open races for Montana Supreme Court. Corey Swanson brought in $77,000, while Jerry Lynch raised almost $52,000 in the campaign for Chief Justice. In the race for an Associate Justice position, Catherine Bittigary raised $71,000, and Dan Wilson raised $65,000. The next campaign finance deadline for state candidates will be October 20th. And those will be the final reports before Election Day. In Helena, Jonathan Amberian, MTN News.
While you might not think about the skill that goes into operating a heavy piece of equipment, you'd be surprised. Our MTN's Zach Volheim went to check out such talent on showcase at the annual snow rodeo and has the full story.
You really can't see these.
I'm here at the Snow Rodeo, where heavy equipment operators are given the opportunity to show off some of their skills.
The goal is to increase the safety and operational efficiency of our transportation system that is operated and owned primarily by the public in Montana.
The Snow Rodeo is made up of 6 events: a snowplow road course, precision operation of a backhoe and motor grader, a wheel loader obstacle course, and an exam and diagnostics test. With all of these events, operators are given the chance to drive and operate equipment that they typically don't work with.
It's great. It's a great experience, good practice. It's a good time. I'm glad I came out for it.
And while these events may be fun for the operators, they also provide an opportunity to learn.
The Snow Rodeo is really an operator safety and operations training opportunity. The purpose is really to help these operators get better at operating their equipment, try new things. Sometimes people are employed to drive truck or drive a motor grader, and they never get exposure to a backhoe or things that we have here for them.
Operators may gain new skills by attending the Snow Rodeo, but it still proves to be a challenge operating new equipment.
Could have been better, but it sure could have been worse.
In Missoula, I'm Zach Volheim, MTN News.
Butte will continue to have a role in the 1923 television series. As our John Amy reports, the production will be doing some limited filming next month in the mining city for the 2nd season of the Yellowstone spinoff.
Now just behind me, down this here dirt road, they're building the Dutton Ranch as some of the 2nd season of the 1923 television series will be filmed in and around Butte.
King Street Productions was a great partner, and they worked well. They hired local businesses to cater to them, and they hired local talent. So we look forward to them returning, and even in the limited amount of filming that they may be doing.
The series, which filmed its 1st season almost exclusively in Butte, moved production for its 2nd season to Texas. However, some of the new season will be shot in and around Butte in October and possibly November. This is welcome news for locals who participated in the 1st season.
When I found out they were coming back, I quit shaving so I could grow my beard out in case that would help me.
Tom Cronley worked as a background actor during the 1st season.
I had friends in Seattle call me and say, "Did I just see you on TV?" So that was kind of fun to see that. I had one scene where I literally had to move my feet so Harrison Ford could get through the set, and so on screen, the cameras are on him, but I'm right there with him. With Harry, that's what we call him in the business, Harry.
The production is paying the city $10,000 for the use of the north parking lot of the Butte Civic Center for the month of October. The Civic Center itself will not be used by the production and will continue to be open for local events. Filming will occur at some locations around Butte and in Feely, south of Butte, where a replica of the Dutton Ranch is being built.
It's a great thing for our community, and it brings excitement, and I think it brings people into our community to try to see where Harrison Ford and Helen Merriam, where they filmed at and where they were located at, and so I think it's an exciting thing for our community.
Legacy Casting is seeking people to sign up as background actors for the second season. In Butte, John Amy, MTN News.
How neat.
There's really cool opportunities out there.
Butte, America is Montana's Hollywood now.
Hello. I mean, do you see the hills out there? Might as well say Hollywood.
Exactly.
Lady of the Rockies. I mean, that's basically our Hollywood sign.
Exactly. There we go. It's going to be a pretty nice one to get outside this weekend.
It absolutely is. It's going to be really comfortable out there. I mean, if you need any proof, just take a look at what it was like yesterday. Really warm all around the Treasure State. In our neck of the woods, more so 70s are what we were dealing with. But focusing on today, well, as you can see, not a whole heck of a lot going on in terms of cloud coverage, rain, anything like that. And of course, we'd like some rain, but hey, we might as well see the bright spot in what we're going to be dealing with, which is some warm temperatures. We're going to have that coming up in just a bit.
Alrighty, thank you, Jane. And coming up, one band program in Montana was in danger of being extinct, but somebody stepped up to the plate and saved the program. We'll have that story coming up in just a couple of minutes.